Just last year, President Trump was elected in a landslide, in part because of a simple promise to all of you, the American people, to secure the border and enforce immigration laws. This is not extreme. This doesn't make us Nazi Germany. Those officers are not Gestapo agents. It is simple law and order for safety and security carried out to protect, in this case, the people of Minnesota. In fact, even President Obama argued passionately, see if it doesn't sound like Donald Trump here, in support of large-scale deportations. Take a look.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship. And no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
They should be held accountable. It wasn't just talk. Obama deported millions and millions of illegals in this country, and not even criminal illegal aliens. Now, in 2015, he even honored Tom Homan, who is serving as a top ICE official with the government's highest civil service award for deporting so many illegal immigrants. Take a look.
Mr. Homan is the point person for cooperating with state and local authorities and corresponding with them, again, to achieve this level of cooperation to subdue the chaos on the streets of Minneapolis. And I would just point out that Mr. Homan is someone who has been lauded for many, many decades for his experience working in law enforcement. In fact, this is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has the full trust and faith of the president.
Now, just before Homan received his award, the ACLU, they complained that 83% of illegal immigrants were not given, quote, proper due process. Not sure how they got the rights of Americans, but Democrats, the media, they didn't care at all. No protesters, no Nazi, no Gestapo comparisons. In fact, the very same year under Obama, there was an ICE-involved shooting. A 20-year-old man died in Michigan, but there were no riots, no hyperventilation from the legacy media, no calls to defund ICE or the government to be defunded. Why? Because Democrats only care about the lives lost when they can politicize the loss and weaponize it for political reasons. Now, 2 decades of dozens, or really thousands and thousands of dead citizens in blue cities, blue states. Oh, Chicago, Illinois comes to mind. Not a peep out of Democrats. That's why we call all of this out for what it is. Feigned, phony, selective moral outrage. And then came Joe Biden, who unleashed the floodgates, the most preventable national security disaster in our country's history. He didn't just open the border. He also encouraged illegals to cross unvetted into our country. And he and his fellow Democrats lured them with taxpayer-funded government benefits thanks to sanctuary status. Over 12 million from over 200 countries, including the most violent criminals from all over the world. Donald Trump is trying to clean up his mess. Democrats applauded Joe Biden's lawlessness while lying straight to you, the American people. Oh, the border's closed. The border's secure. Take a look at your screen right here. Take a look. There's 2 different versions of the border here. One, according to Democrats, many top Democrats, the chaotic images to the left show a secure border. They weren't secure for 4 years, while the peaceful images, that's the border today under President Trump, are somehow bad and un-American. In just a few short years, Democrats collectively have lost their minds. But don't take my word for it. While President Trump is trying to work with state and local officials that have been undermining and putting gasoline on a fire and inciting people and dehumanizing law enforcement, well, President Trump is trying to lower the political temperature. It now seems, at least temporarily, to be working. I don't trust Walz. I don't trust Mayor French Fry or Small Fry. Here is how the left is responding. Let's start with a Minneapolis city council member who just again compared ICE to the Nazis. Take a look.
We want the 2,000+ agents that are still here today occupying our communities and putting them at harm's risk for being abducted or even shot and killed. We want them out. We don't want swapsies. So until that demand is fulfilled, there is simply not a satisfying moment in this change.
And it does get worse. Here is the always unhinged Rick Wilson. Take a look.
I know I'm going to get in trouble. I want Stephen Miller to be the #1 in the Nuremberg trials when this is done. When this is done, I want Stephen Miller to be the first one who is tried and convicted and dangles. Okay? I want him to be brought before a court of law because he is the sole executive that runs all this DHS ICE stuff, the Gestapo.
And meanwhile, one frequent fake news CNN guest filmed herself launching into a tirade. Take a look at this.
The United States Senate is voting on ICE's funding next week, and this is a group that does not deserve to be funded. Any senator who votes to continue to pay for this mob of unhinged murderers is out of their mind, because this cannot be retrained. This has to be stopped. So if you are a U.S. senator right now, do not write a tweet. Do not write a tweet. Write a bill. Write a bill that abolishes this heinous department.
All right, more Nazi analogies from Charlemagne the God.
I don't know how dark or how bad things are going to get, but I keep hearing people referencing 1940s Germany. But I want y'all to remember something when you are bringing up that history. The Nazis ultimately lost. Nazi ideology was outlawed through denazification. One day we will see the demagnification of this country. It will come. And you know what else happened? Leaders of the Nazi regime were prosecuted and tried as war criminals.
Oh, boy. Naturally, Colbert, Kimmel, they had to weigh in. As per usual, poor Jimmy, holding back his tears. What about the tears for Blake and Riley's family and Jocelyn Nungary's family and Rachel Morin's family and all the other families that lost loved ones or had loved ones raped or victims of violent crime? I didn't see any Jimmy Kimmel tears for them. Take a look.
It's frigid here in New York City. I want to thank everyone here who stood outside in the cold today before they came in. I think we can all agree, ICE. Now,
and to the people of Minneapolis, to the Preddy family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.